right. Thank you so much for downloading today's episode of the Red Pill Investor. My name is John Ashley, a pseudonym of a realtor here in the great state of Arizona, here to help you with your real estate sales skills. Why? Well, it's just sort of my way to pay it forward for all the people who've given me the tips, the tricks, the things to say to get the contract signed when I needed it the most. Their only request of me, well, simply pay it forward. And this is my opportunity to you. Thank you so much for downloading today's episode of the Red Pill Investor, episode number 470. Wow, 470. Holy smokes. Why your sales funnel crumbled. Why your sales funnel crumbled. See, if you've been in sales for any period of time, you've probably seen your sales funnel or your pipeline start to decrease, or maybe not work quite as well as it used to. You know, the old ways just ain't panning out quite as well. That same old mailer just ain't producing the same way. If you're starting to see the traditional ways of doing business not to work so well, there's a reason. It's because sales itself has changed in the last 10 years. You see, there are 3 reasons why sales itself has fundamentally changed. Oh, just gone are the days of this salesperson having that traditional upper hand in a real estate transaction. You know, so if you've got a pen and a piece of paper, let's go ahead and get ready to write down 3 reasons why your real estate sales have changed, causing your sales funnel to crumble. See, selling itself isn't so much changed in as much as the way people buy has changed. That's really what the change is, the way people have bought. So this is why you're not having as much success. It's just because you're looking in the wrong way. Point number 1, buyers themselves have changed. See, with the advent of the internet and the information that it makes available to the consumers, it's just rocketed up like never before. I mean, unprecedented heights of information. Depths to which we have never imagined before, right? Tax data, former listings, Redfin. I mean, companies that are backed by big money companies like the Consultative Group out of Mumbai, you know, they fund opendoor.com, for example. You know, they're providing buyers of real estate products and services never before. They're giving them things like never before. And it's unlike when I joined real estate. I mean, so many years ago. It was 19 years ago. And I mean, by the way, back then we had MLS books. That's how we knew what was on MLS. We looked on the MLS book. It's kind of like a Sears catalog, and I know many of you may not even know what a catalog is or a Sears catalog is. It's a thing that you look through. It has a bunch of pictures in it. You'd order online and you'd have to wait, a couple days for the truck to come and bring you your stuff. I know that's even unheard of now with Amazon, but back in the day, that's what you used to do, right? Back then, that was just 19 years ago. The customers, they didn't know values like they do today. But today's customer has a world of information about a property. I mean, they have a world of information about the property, you, your client if you're an agent. I mean, just within minutes. Reviews of you and how they should do business or not do business with you if you're an agent. If you're a wholesaler, talking about you or your company, they can look at anything about you or your company in minutes. And your client, the tax data about the house, how much they owe, when they bought it. So now when the buyer comes to you, they can be just as well informed about the comps, the neighborhood, and generally a pretty good idea about the equity position that your seller has or you have. They know the raw data, but they lack the context many times. It's similar to knowing that the shortest sentence in the Bible is Jesus wept. Okay, that's great that you know that, but it lacks the context in the why. Okay, why? Why did Jesus wept? Why? Why was that? See, often the why someone sold at a certain price is just as important. Point number 2. The relationship between the buyer and the seller has changed. Now that the buyer knows more, well, what then is the relationship between the buyer and the seller? Well, for a smart home seller, it means that they must equally be informed about the market. After all, if the buyer is more educated now, then they're less likely than ever to fall for some BS kind of pricing, okay? It's just not going to happen. So what's required is a level of education, a whole lot of honesty, and a frank discussion about what matters the most, which is price. See, without the correct price from the beginning, the home will never sell. And this must absolutely be unequivocal in your mind. Okay, people aren't stupid. And for the ones who are, there's always Google. Okay? It's not like there's just lack of information out there, okay? The relationship between a buyer and a seller has changed by all these additional facts. Oftentimes, again, without that proper context. Point number 3. Your role in the transaction. When you think about your role in the transaction, it should be more consultative, in a consultative way. You're one of being a consultant to them. Just try to see if what you have is able to solve their problem. In this new sales dynamic, okay, where things aren't currently working as well as we would even want them to, we have to first understand that the buyer and the seller now have new information. And this new information poses some challenging new questions for the practitioners. And if you aren't prepared for those questions, you will fail almost every single time. What questions are these? Well, when you think about it, why should I take less than so-and-so did? From a seller, if they're going to have some very good information via the tax data, opendoor.com, and all these other places, then they're going to have, this good information. Why should I take less than so-and-so did? And if you can't answer that, you're going to fail almost every single time. The other one, how about if it came from a buyer? I only paid X for the last one. Why should I pay Y for this one? If you can't provide valuable answers for a more informed public, you can quickly see how this coffee is for closers thing can quickly go wrong. See, the trick then is you have to learn how to put more consultation skills in the sales process in less time. That's the key, less time. Because people are coming to the sales process more informed than ever. They don't have time for an hour-long presentation. They've already been doing some of their homework. It's not like this just occurred to them. Point number 4, consultative selling accelerated. You have to understand that the buyer and the seller already came to this point pretty much educated. Many times, not all the time, but many times. They're pretty much educated to this. And now your job is to just simply add the context. Understand, you've got 20 minutes maximum to make a great presentation. Okay? Simply smile, knock on the door, pay a compliment, ask for the 10-cent tour, Take them to a safe island, direct them to the kitchen table, tell them that they've got three options, ask them about their situation, share with them the three active, the three sold comps, ask what they think is fair, give them the pawn shop presentation, handle objections, and close. That's the process. And even closing isn't the same. It's more defining if you can even help them. That's what you're trying to figure out. It's, can I even help you? Because many times you want to help them, but because of their pricing or their equity or their motivation, you can't help them. And guess what? It's okay. See, in conclusion, hopefully you've learned that because of the way the internet has made so much data available to the consumer, your role as the context adder is critical to your success. For a complete systematic approach to real estate sales as a wholesaling investor or as a realtor, check out the Red Pill Sales System book in the shown links. And until next time, have a powerful sales day. Bye-bye.